In this video we are going to talk about most simplest games in 2022. So before starting this video, like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates. Simple games are amusing to play in view of the basic controls, however don't let that fool you. The amusement esteem is high, and you can constantly work on your abilities as you play these reflex-based or puzzle games. Who knows, perhaps you'll try and land the best position on the scoreboard. Have a great time with our simple games for an engaging time frame. Number 10, The Legend of Zelda. The first Legend of Zelda is a beguilingly simple game to get. It's completing the journey where things get somewhat interesting. In light of that, it's as yet an exemplary experience that any gamer ought to attempt no less than once. Particularly assuming that they're hoping to find a way to improve on their gaming history. Retro games are many times the absolute most straightforward to get and appreciate absent a lot of guidance, work, or even story. Notwithstanding, the Zelda series is quite possibly of the most prized story in all of gaming. It probably won't be completely section level, however trying things out is sufficiently simple. Number 9, Wii Sports. In the event that a player can swing a bat, roll a bowling ball down a path, or throw a right hook, they can play Wii Sports. In truth, movement controls were a trick yet in the formative stages at the hour of its delivery. Yet there's no denying the long periods of fun the game advertised. It could have been a straightforward choice of sporting events. Yet the capacity to genuinely get up and play a series of golf or baseball from the solace of the parlor was a clever idea. For now is the right time. With a redo emerging for the Nintendo Switch on the way, it very well may be an ideal opportunity to possibly look out for a way to improve on the material. Wii Sports comprises of 5 separate sporting events: tennis, baseball, bowling, golf, and boxing got to from the primary menu. The games utilize the movement sensor abilities of the Wii Remote to control the player's predominant arm or potentially the suitable athletic gear it employs. Boxing uses both Wii Remote and nunchuck signals to control both of the player's arms. The player moves the distance along these lines to how the different games are played. All things considered, for instance, holding and swinging the Wii Remote like a golf club, slugging stick, tennis racket, or bowling ball. Number 8, Final Fight. The first Final Fight for the SNES incorporated the playable characters Hager and Cody, however did exclude Guy. And furthermore discarded the 2-player highlight, a refreshed 1992 delivery. Final Fight Guy included Guy yet not Cody, but rather still missing the mark on 2-player include. A farce of the first game, named Mighty Final Fight, was delivered for the NES and highlighted honest, very disfigured or chibi variants of the first Final Fight characters. Stroll to one side, pound the buttons, and watch the troublemakers fall. On the off chance that a player can dominate those 3 straightforward errands, they can basically vanquish any side-looking over beat 'em up. While there are a few instances of this revered classification, Final Fight is the one that set the bar for the games that followed. It's an arcade exemplary that is sufficiently basic to play, yet sufficiently challenging to eat up a player's quarters left and right. Playing as one of 3 contenders, gamers new and old can without much of a stretch step into the activity press title to convey their own kind of road equity. Number 7, Centipede. Shoot the bugs and don't get hit are the main things a player has to know while playing Centipede. Atari is one of the foundations that constructed the gaming business. And this shooter is one of the most well-known and irresistible titles under the brand. It's that mix of simple interactivity and habit-forming nature that makes players want more and more even a very long time after it previously graced arcades. Effectively one of the most unmistakable one-of-a-kind games to beauty a bureau or a screen. A wonderfully dreary encounter fits any degree of gamer. Number 6, Space Invaders. Any semblance of Galaga, Gradius, and Ikaruga all owe their very presence to games like Space Invaders. Like Centipede, its straightforward controls are not difficult to get a handle on, and its monotonous recipe hits that habit-forming piece of a player's cerebrum the perfect way. In view of that, it's as yet a to some degree crude experience regardless of the control center. Space shooters are extremely common, However, there is maybe no finer fitting illustration of short-sighted than Space Invaders. It probably won't be the most fascinating passage with regards to the class. However, there's an explanation. It can in any case be found in arcades all over. Number 5. Pong. It doesn't get substantially less muddled than 2 lines and a speck. All things considered, Pong is as yet quite possibly of the most agreeable game in the gaming scene. In spite of its unbelievably moderate way to deal with a round of tennis, it's still as pleasant and simple now as it was, thinking back to the 70s. The age of Atari's burdensome 2600 could have gone back and forth. However, Pong and its army of clones can in any case be delighted in across a large number of stages. It's likewise significant that the game is considerably more fascinating while playing against a human part as opposed to the implicit PC foe. Number 4. Tetris. Frequently imitated yet never copied, Tetris could undoubtedly be viewed as the ruler of puzzle games. There's basically not a control center or even a cell phone around that can't deal with this work of art. It was a raving success on the Game Boy. It's actually delighted in by millions in the cutting-edge time. From the standard issue unique to remixes and side projects like Tetris 99. Obviously, the crowd for the title is still huge and connected as it was, harking back to the 80s. The many years in Control Center go back and forth, yet Tetris will stay long after any semblance of Mario and Kratos have gone. Number 3. Kirbys Adventure. A last hurrah for the NES, however, one that launched a darling series and acquainted the world with a dearest character. Kirbys Adventure was made for new gamers from the plan of its pink puffball hero. Of Nintendo's exemplary characters, Kirby is all maybe the most easy to understand, and that is made resoundingly clear in his unique Control Center title. It's a standard platforming game, yet Kirby's scandalous duplicate capacity makes it novel. The game is especially easy and the foes are in no way, shape, or form a danger. However, his charming and cuddly nature matched with the inebriating frolic through Dreamland create his nominal experience, one any player of any level can both appreciate and wrap up. Number 2. Super Mario Bros. Series. Taking into account Mario and Luigi are many times the primary computer game characters most gamers are first acquainted with. It's a given that the Mario Brothers games would be especially simple to get and play. From the 8-cycle unique to the more up-to-date titles seen on the Switch, Mario has been the lord of the platformers for quite a long time. The adherence to the exemplary recipe has saved the handyman neck somewhere down in coins for such a long time. Get Mario from point A to point B, hop on the foes, gather the coins and enhancers. Save the princess, do this process again. On the off chance that it's not penniless, don't fix it. Number 1. Considering Mario and Luigi are much of the time the principal computer game characters most gamers are first acquainted with, it's implied that the Mario Brothers games would be especially simple to get and play. From the 8-digit unique to the more current titles seen on the Switch, Mario has been the lord of the platformers for quite a long time. The adherence to the exemplary recipe has saved the handyman neck somewhere down in coins for such a long time. Get Mario from point A to point B, hop on the foes, gather the coins and enhancers. Save the princess, do this process again. In the event that it's not bankrupt, don't fix it. Number 1. PacMan. There's an explanation. PacMan fever cleared the 10 years during the 80s. And this is on the grounds that everybody needed to get a piece of the phantom chomping symbol. The first arcade exemplary was intended to offer a less savage option in contrast to the space shooter rounds of the early arcade days, and the outcome was culture characterizing. To say that anybody can play PacMan wouldn't be a long way from reality. In the event that a player can work a joystick, they can move PacMan through the labyrinth to eat up the phantoms and dabs for the most elevated score. Simple to get and difficult to dominate, enough time with the first labyrinth sprinter will make nearly anybody into a gamer. What do you think about this video? Do let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.